All right, ladies and gentlemen, wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that good stuff, right? It seems that 2024, as many L's as people have taken, they continue to want to run up the score as far as taking L's. They're still running around with the same old sad explanations or excuses for whatever they do, all the pandering, all the things that they say on the internet that don't really amount to anything. Hasn't amounted to anything since they've spewed these talking points. And everybody that's tried to use any of this stuff has ultimately failed. For example, the whole prize conversation. Y'all might as well cut that shit out. Okay? What prize doesn't get picked? That was the one thing that kind of pissed me off all year long. How are you a prize and nobody wants you? But anyway, the lying on black men, the saying that we hate our community, that we can't have our own minds, our own intelligence, stuff like that ultimately backfired. And y'all saw that in the election. So I want to know, going into 2025, are y'all going to continue the same old narratives? Because it didn't work last year. It didn't work the year prior. Like, when are y'all going to figure it out? See, one of the marks of intelligence is when presented with new information, you adjust yourself accordingly. You evaluate the information and you start to make changes. It's like when you have a process for making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and somebody comes along and say, hey, I got a better way you can do it. You would take that information, you would work it out. And if it's better, then you would go with it. If not, you would continue on doing things the way you were normally doing it. But what we've learned is when it comes to societal problems, as far as men are concerned, is that men are presenting each other with the information. We're comparing notes and we're moving accordingly. And a lot of men can say that, their lives have greatly improved. They're not wasting money on people who are ungrateful. They're not keeping friendships with folks who don't deserve it. They're making better choices with their money and stop not listening to people, not giving it away. They're saving their money. They're probably working more hours. They're going into career fields that actually yield some damn money that's worth talking about. What men have learned, and by talking to each other, is that you don't have to go to college to make a decent living. For some reason, the society wants to mark everybody by how many degrees you have, when only a small percentage of those people holding degrees are going to be, in the 1%. See, the 1% hires people with high knowledge to work for them and make them rich. And a lot of people don't get that. So for these folks that's carrying these degrees and all that, that's all fine and dandy. I have a degree. But the part of the degree, what part, how many of you are actually using said degree? I work with a bunch of people, and I should have said this a long time ago. Or I told y'all a long time ago. That's my fault. I worked with a bunch of people. Some of them were engineers, electrical engineers, designers, people who come from different degree backgrounds. And what they've done is they switched over to the construction side of the house, what I do as an electrician, blue collar work, because it's too hard to make it to the top 1% in corporate America, which is white collar. There are several of us who make just as much money, if not better, than our white collar counterparts. So you sit in a cubicle. You may be at $60,000, $70,000, but the average electrician is making $35, $40 an hour. Not, on the check. None of our benefits come out of our darn pay. It's already been paid for, especially if you're a union electrician. The last place I worked for, the union that I worked for, the rate is $73.58. That's on your check. And you can look at your benefits package. Every employer has to pay, like so many dollars per hour for medical, dental, this, that, and the third. It does not come directly out of your pay. There's a high cost of living up in Washington State. Now, your blue collar workers are making maybe 120, 150 or whatever in the same area where I just came from. But if I work overtime at 73.58, I'm making more than that guy. I don't have to have the college debt. All I got to do is 5 years of schooling. But somehow this past year, everybody's all stuck on all these degrees and shitting on blue collar workers. And some of y'all want to lead people younger than you down the same damn path. People will say that your degree opens doors. Please explain to me, shut up, Nala, what doors your degree has opened. I mean, you can get a job in the same field that you're currently working, the same area or whatever. I mean, that's fine. But what about places where your job doesn't exist? Can you work and operate? I mean, I guess you can, because there's a lot of people who aren't even using their degree. What they do now has nothing to do with their degree. So yet another thing we should be leaving in 2024. Y'all need to cut it out. It's like y'all love to lie so much that anytime one of us tells the truth, I get a strike on one of my videos. Like when I told the truth about the child support system. People didn't like that. The video got took down. Because you get a lot of dudes that has never paid a lot of money, paid any money into the system, want to talk shit to me, like to men like me, and then I got to stick up for them because a lot of those guys don't have the platform or courage to speak up on it. But anyway, this video's gotten quite long. I'm going to finish my lunch, but I just thought about that. Like, I've been seeing all the garbage in the past week come through on my FYP, and I hadn't posted a video in a while. But yet I'm getting everything. Especially people that's continuing to diss Kevin Samuels. Like, he wasn't trying to help you. He helped young men first, and then he went over to the ladies like, hey, your success depending on who you partner with. And it is what it is.